just having a little warm-up before I go and play at Buena Vista here in Tenerife. So I just thought I'd capture some of the things that I quite like to do just before I even hit some golf balls. So what I've done, I've got 3 clubs because I feel a bit tight. I just want to loosen my body up. So I've got 3 clubs. I've put 2 side by side, one on top to form a triangle. I've just split my hands wide apart, so I'm just holding this almost like I would do a hammer. And then I'm warming up. I'm just using the weight of the club to help my body start to move. Just building it up nice and gradual. Just going all the way through to a full swing. I like to do around 10, 15 with the 3 clubs. Just using the weight of them to move my body nice and freely. Okay, then I'll throw one away, put one on top of the other, still holding it with my hands split apart, swinging again, just build it up nice and gradual, almost like a short pitch shot, using the wrists into that lovely full swing. This is brilliant if you're that golfer who rushes to the first tee and doesn't have time to go and hit any balls before they go and play. You know, literally a few minutes, as you can see we're doing here, before you know it, your golf club's going to feel nice and light. So go back to 1 club now, and this should feel a lot lighter. Feels loads, it feels really light, but it also feels like I've got a bit more power, a bit more speed into the swing just because the thing feels so light. Then what I'm inclined to do is, I've just got a 9, let's see if I've got a wedge here. I've got a pitching wedge here. What I like to do for the first 3 or 4 shots is just a gentle swing, half swing, but still moving my body well. So see, I'm still moving forward, weight shifting correctly. Just a little backwards through. Not really paying too much attention to what's happening to the shot. I'm just moving my body, getting it moving. Strike starting to feel quite relaxed. Hopefully what you're noticing there, I'm not really keeping my head down as you see so many people do when they're doing these little half shots. Body stops moving, so just back through, let everything go forward. Let's do that once more. Back and through. Then I'll extend that to a 3/4 swing for me, so it feels roughly around about here, through to the same place on the follow through. Just a nice little 3/4 pitching wedge. Again, I'm not really going to target, I'm not trying to hit this in any specific direction, no specific distance. I'm just warming my body up really. You can hear the other people on the range. That's actually Jo behind the camera, who's hitting some drivers and warming up before she goes and plays. Good girl, proud of you. A nice tip for you, if you ever use grass on a range and it's one of those ranges that has a lot of sand on it, this one's not too bad, but if there's a lot of sand, my advice to you would use a little tee peg, pop it on a tee and hit it off the tee, because if you hit it out of the sand and you start mishitting it and hitting too much ground, it really starts to dint your confidence. So my little tip, I picked this up playing with some tour pros once, pop it on a tee and do it that way, just to keep the confidence going. If you've got a nice practice ground and there isn't much sand, then just hit it off the floor as normal. See, another couple more with the pitching wedge. Now I'm going to exchange this wedge and I'm going to use some longer clubs. So now it's not too long before we tee off here at Buena Vista. So I'm just going to use some rescue clubs just to get my body moving. Hopefully you should see the swing looking very similar to what it did with the wedges. And then I always like to finish with a few drivers, because that's the club that I'm going to use on the first tee when I get over there. So I always like to hit a few shots with that one. But I'm just going to hit a couple of rescue clubs. Notice the ball is positioned slightly further forward than centre, but not opposite my left heel as a lot of people think they should be. So again, I'm just looking for a nice smooth swing, not looking to hit it tremendous distances. I just want my body to move well. Nice and relaxed. Back and through. These are actually going quite nicely, nice and straight. That felt good. Let's hit one more with my little rescue. Definitely behaving itself today. So I'll just exchange that now for a few drivers in preparation for going to the first tee and seeing if we hit that one that goes down the middle. Again, from here my ball is positioned slightly inside my left heel. That's where it feels most comfortable for me. That's where I tend to put it. A lot of people think you've got to have it opposite your heel or opposite your toe, but for me, when I do that, I feel like I'm leaning forward, which I don't particularly like. I like to feel relatively even, backwards and forwards. Take that one off the first all day long. Let's hit a couple more. Okay, nice and relaxed. I have quite a few comments saying, oh, you hover the club behind the ball with your driver. This is absolutely true. I've done this since I was 8 years old. I just like it, so I don't really feel a need to change that. It's probably the only club that I do it with, but I just find for me it feels really nice, so I'm going to keep doing it. It's a lovely golf shot. Another comment I get an awful lot is I have a forward press before I start my golf swing. Now I do this now totally naturally, but I am going to do a separate video on the forward press and why it's important, and maybe why you should put this into your pre-shot routine or just before you start to hit the ball. So I just have a natural little forward press and that helps me get started, but I'll go into more detail in this in a future video. Nice and relaxed with the grip, backwards, forwards. Swing feels great. Always trying to finish in balance. I never really like to force my golf shots. I like to swing the golf club properly rather than all this force that you see a lot of people trying to do. So nice and relaxed, let it go. Lovely balance. Another great tip, hold your finish until the ball lands. It'll make a massive difference to your consistency.